Okay, I promise. This is the last one for a while. I do need to take a nap. I was very busy today, as evidenced by the 17 YouTube videos we had uploaded in the span of 24 hours, but whilst I was out and about this afternoon, after making all the videos about the trades and Allvin and him disrespecting Boeser and him explaining to the best of his own capacity why the Vancouver Canucks did not make any moves in the 2025 trade deadline, whilst I was out and about, I was driving home and I was listening to Sportsnet 650. There was a very interesting radio hit by Jannik Hansen. Fantastic. We always know Jannik. He has the hits, he has the heat. He's got some opinionated conversations, and it's always usually in the more blunt and more based conversation point, I think. Yeah, Jannik Hansen's a very good interview, and he always has some good hits, but immediately after Jannik Hansen had his own thoughts on the Vancouver Canucks, guess who decided to make an appearance on Sportsnet 650 with Satiar Shah and Dan Riccio? It was Patrik Allvin. And this is a series of tweets that people have posted about Patrik Allvin's interview on 650 from about half an hour ago, because he says some very interesting things that have gotten Canucks fans even more panicked compared to where they were, let's say, 24 hours ago. Let's read this tweet here. Noah Strang posted this. Patrik Allvin is asked by Satiar Shah if he's comfortable letting Boeser walk in free agency. Allvin said, "Yeah, I guess with the outcome of today, I didn't really have any other options. That's part of the business and the risk you have to take to be in it." And the best part is, if you listen to the interview, I'm sure it'll be on, Canucks Central or whatever show they have in the evening before the games. If you listen to the interview itself, and you just kind of go question by question, you take in how Sat and Riccio are talking to Allvin, there are a number of moments throughout this interview, this question included, where Patrik Allvin legitimately feels like he's at a loss for words. He's kind of talking in circles, and it doesn't really seem like he's all too confident in what it is that he's saying. Satiar Shah was very, very blunt in the questions that he was throwing Allvin's way. And essentially, hey, they asked, "Are you okay with letting Boeser walk?" And he said, "Yeah, I guess that's the outcome of the day. We were not able to get the prices that we want. Other guys were asking for more, for us to be buyers, so we weren't able to make any trades. Nobody came in, nobody left. But for Brock, with the outcome of how things went, they know the risk. They're not uncomfortable with letting Boeser walk for nothing in free agency." Let's go out there and read some of the replies before we dive into some of the extra comments. FFS, yeah, Tommy going out there and expressing frustration. Even Jimbo with this disgrace of a response. He also said right after that teams were asking about Lekkerimaki, Willander, and DPD as well, and that he didn't want to sacrifice the Vancouver Canucks' future. From bad to worse, could have had a first, maybe gotten Stankoven, other picks and prospects, but no, we want 2 playoff games before we get swept. For F's sakes, man, we stand no chance. Holy F, we're cooked. A balder, more Swedish Jim Benning. Fire him, please. That's our intention. A lot of folks are overreacting to these Patrik Allvin comments. Heck, is it even overreacting? This is pretty bad. Allvin straight up admitting that Brock Boeser walking for nothing is not something that they are candid on wanting to avoid. I mean, he said that the fact that Boeser is still in Vancouver, it gives them the opportunity to try and continue to get something to work and to get contract talks continuing and stuff like that. So obviously he said the right things in updating the Canucks media sphere as to where the team is at, but this commentary is pretty bad. And there was another comment here. Patrik Allvin says teams around the league wanted Lekkerimaki, DPD, and Willander. He did not want to part with those guys. The game is always changing, and the need for certain teams seems to be different for different player types. I think we as a team haven't played as consistently as you want to, and that includes Brock Boeser, says Allvin on the Boeser trade market. So there you go again. Patrik Allvin going out there and talking about how Brock has not been great, and then wondering why teams are not willing to pay the price. Yeah, it's almost like Patrik Allvin has been openly admitting this entire season that Brock Boeser has not been fantastic, and still getting snarky about the prices there. Taj went out there and said this. Maybe this is more of an opinionated tweet. Sat called out Allvin on his Boeser BS, and Allvin is basically speechless. This is amazing. He eventually started talking in circles, but he had no idea what to say. Satyr Shah killed it. I honestly do think that the folks on Sportsnet 650, Satyr Shah, Dan Riccio, they wanted to get some good answers for the fans. Because they were saying the entire show, ever since the trade deadline passed, they were saying on this Sportsnet broadcast there, the Dunbar Lumber text line, that they've been getting a lot of feedback from fans that's super pessimistic. A lot of folks that are giving up on this team are really frustrated with the lack of moves. No buyer moves, no seller moves. It's the same team. P.S. Suter still here. Brock Boeser still here. A lot of these guys, you can't really go out there and say that we know any more, any better than we did yesterday as to what the plan is going to be. The way that Patrik Allvin was speaking about it on the radio, it does seem almost like he would be content with Brock Boeser walking. There's a very legitimate chance that it happens, and I don't really know how we're supposed to react to that. Allvin said he doesn't mind. It seems like he's not uncomfortable with that idea. I guess that's with the outcome. I mean, they understand the risk. That's the risk you have to take when you don't make your trades. And I think it was Riccio on the program after Allvin's interview concluded who even said, hey, Anthony Beauvillier got traded for a second today. Kuzmenko got traded for a third today. You're telling me there's no team out there that wanted a first-round pick or that was willing to give up a first-round pick for Brock Boeser? Absolutely no teams at all? Even if you retain salary? Patrik Allvin said, we only have one salary retention spot left. Yeah, okay, why don't you use it, bro? You use retained salary on Brock Boeser in 24-25. That contract expires in 3 months. What? It's not like you use that retention spot anywhere else. I don't know, man. I don't know. Unless the Vancouver Canucks were very particularly planning to make some sort of a trade with retained salary on draft day at the end of June before July 1st when Boeser's contract expires, him using that excuse that they have only one retention spot left, that's a total BS excuse to not get something done. You could have had Boeser retain 50%, 3-point-something million, and that guy might have been able to get a first. If Boeser by himself was not able to get a first or anything, then why not him with 50% retained? It's totally possible here. I don't know. I am not the GM of the hockey team, so of course I am not going to sit here and pretend like I could have done a better job. But I feel like at some point, I might have been able to do a better job. I don't know. I'm not talking to GMs. Maybe Boeser's value really was that low. So Vancouver felt that, okay, yeah, if we hold on to him, if we re-sign him, if we bring him back and everything works, then okay, great. That's more valuable than a second or a first or whatever we could have gotten for him on the market. But if he leaves for nothing, which is a very realistic possibility, it is shocking to me that Allvin is talking about how it's kind of okay for that to happen. So, the Canucks play off against the Minnesota Wild later today. We'll see what happens as they play Brock Boeser's hometown team. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll see if I can find the Canucks Central episode. Canucks Central, if we go over here, this is the... yes, okay. Patrik Allvin, they already uploaded it. So, the Allvin segment will be linked in the description if you want to listen to it yourself. It's pretty weird, man. It's weird. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.